Hi everybody, this is Boogast Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a Throwback Thursday review on the McFarlane Toys Collectors Club exclusive Hellspawn Biker Chick figure. So before we take a look at Biker Chick, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So first up, you get this big gun with the blade on the end of it, and it's sculpted and painted really well. It's cast in, it looks like a gunmetal color with a dry brushing of silver over top, and that looks really good. You also get blue and red paints for the sights right there. That looks very awesome. But the big drawback with this is she can't hold it because she has open hands. I definitely wish she would have came with some alternate weapon gripping hands, because you can't get her holding this at all. Sometimes you can kind of wedge it in between her fingers and get her to holding it like this. But yeah, it's mainly just meant to go over her shoulder because of the way her hands are sculpted. So there she is with the large gun over her shoulder right there, and it stays well for the most part. The strap is really thin and flimsy, so it does want to go up here a lot of times when you're posing her around. And finally she comes with her pistol, and just like with the gun on her back there, it's sculpted really well and has that dry brushing of silver over top of it that brings the details out very nicely. Now since she does have an open hand, this does have a peg in it. It pegs into her hand, and that really scares me, pegging it and unpegging it too much. It does stay really well, but if you take it out and put it in the holster on her hip, then I'm afraid you'll break the peg off. I definitely see that happening if you take that out of her hand too much. I do think it kind of looks funny though. Her hand is completely open and doesn't look like it's meant to be holding a gun at all. I really wish she would have came with an alternate left hand that looked a little better. And as I mentioned, you can store the pistol there in the holster on her hip. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at her head sculpt. So taking a look at the head sculpt, I think McFarlane Toys did a really awesome job at sculpting and painting it. All of the makeup came out really clean. They actually outlined her eyes and lips in black. It's a really fine detail, and it was painted on there very well. She also has the markings on her eyes there. And the hair is sculpted really, really well. Not only is it sculpted well, but it's cast in black and has brown paint over top of it, giving it some nice variation. That looks really awesome. This is the red version. This was a repaint for the McFarlane Toys Collectors Club. I believe the first one that was done in black was also a Collectors Club exclusive. I think this red one looks better. I just like the look of it so much more. You do get less paint though, because I believe she had like markings or tattoos on her, and this version doesn't have that. But I still think it looks really good. I think the glossy red that they used for her, I suppose it's supposed to be leather outfit, looks really good. The sculpted wrinkles right here on the gloves, that actually looks pretty realistic. Just the way the wrinkles are sculpted looks really good. You get this dragon tattoo on her back, and that kind of looks realistic too. That is painted on there very well. Her belt was a separate piece, and I did have to glue it down because it kept popping out right here at her hip. It does peg in, so I did glue it right here and up here because the peg that you connect it with up here broke. So I did have to glue it in two places. But she has some really nice silver detailing on it, like the Spawn belt buckle right there. You do get a real metal chain. I think that's very awesome that they used real chain for that. As I said, the paint on this just looks really good. They really made it look like leather. And you get black flame detailing on her pants. And even the boots are sculpted really nicely. I believe they're cast in a glossy black color, and they have that bluish paint over top of it. So she is painted really, really well. The only downside is she doesn't have any peg holes in her heels. So she's always going to fall over. She's kind of top heavy, so if you have her this way, she's just going to fall right down. So I definitely wish she would have had peg holes in her heels for a base, and a base, of course, because she will not stand up at all unless she's leaning against something like that. So now, let's go ahead and go over her articulation. Since this is an older Spawn figure, the articulation is minimal. She does have a swivel neck that can move side to side. Because of the way the muscle is sculpted right there, you're meant to pose her like that. That way the sculpt flows well together. She does have a swivel bicep that can move side to side on both sides. She has swivel wrists that can move all the way around. And then she has swivel boots that move side to side. This right side does move all the way around, but the left side is kind of hindered. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here she is next to Hellspawn. I'm pretty sure this is the figure from the same wave as her, Spawn Series 25. Here she is next to the Spawn 10th anniversary figure. And finally, here she is next to Tiffany. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think McFarlane Toys did a really good job on her. And I actually like the colors on this one better than the other version. I believe the other version is harder to get, so it's actually a good thing that I like this version better. The articulation is minimal, but it more than makes up for that with sculpt and paint detail. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.